Jericho Road started out with a really sole focus on housing because, of course, right after Hurricane Katrina, there wasn't any housing here, particularly for low-income folks to come back to. Central City, the area that we work in, is predominantly rental, at 80% at least in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina happened. Landlords didn't get any assistance from the government to work on the homes. So low-income folks, at least from this neighborhood, didn't have any homes to come back to unless they owned their home. So homeownership is really important, of course, in any neighborhood, but it's especially important in the revitalization of this neighborhood.
We are standing in front of Saratoga Square, which was a neighborhood branded and developed by Jericho Road in partnership with other developers, affordable housing developers here in New Orleans. The way Jericho Road has evolved over the years is realizing that you just can't build houses. You have to build a community, and being responsive to homeowners to ensure that their sustainability and ability to retain ownership is to think about all of the needs and all of the support systems that need to be in place to ensure that they continue to own their homes for as long as they choose to own them. And so Jericho started to look at developing the community around it, looking at blight and how it affected our homeowners and the investment that they have made in this community. We started to work around community engagement so that the people who live in this neighborhood and who live in all the neighborhoods that we work in are able to advocate for themselves and not just have someone come in from the outside to advocate for them. Their voices are stronger when they can talk to the mayor, when they can talk to the city council person, when they can talk to the chief of police about the issues that are important to them.
We have evolved into areas that were kind of a natural outgrowth of home ownership because now we want to create neighborhoods, and so you teach people how to be good homeowners, you work on the blight and the vacant property around them, and then people need nutrition information. So they asked, what do you need? We need to learn how to cook because we've got a community garden. So what do we do with this fresh produce that we're growing in the community garden? How can we still save money and not have to go to Walgreens to buy food quickly on our way home from work, but take this fresh produce and make it into a healthy meal? So the things that we've done, the arc of ministry has been amazing, because who would have thought we would have been creating neighborhood associations that had never existed before, and those neighborhood associations would be claiming their own voice and saying, this is what we want for our future, for our children.
We really need to recognize that while it impacts that one family by giving them a house and allowing them to sustain and build assets for generations to come, but it also radiates outward. Homeownership creates a stable community. The more homeowners you have in a community, it's been proven time and time again, creates a more stable, safe environment. That translates to a more stable community for the city of New Orleans. And then all of these homeowners pay property taxes, which translate into income for the city of New Orleans, as we know, all urban areas are all facing somewhat of a fiscal crunch as resources become smaller and smaller. So, while some people will look at, we're just helping this one family, it really truly radiates outward to affect the entire community.
If you look around Saratoga Square, if you look at this street, which they used to jokingly call Thunderdome when we were first down here, because it was about the worst part of the worst neighborhood of post-Katrina New Orleans, and in terms of violence, in terms of drugs, and we were the first ones here. These beautiful houses were, along with, again, some partners, started this neighborhood, which now stretches for blocks, where there's development, there's energy. It's an amazing thing, and I think it really, a lot has to do with that trust and initial faith that Episcopal Relief and Development had in us.
Jericho Road has made a commitment to this place, not just New Orleans, but specifically Central City. Episcopal Relief and Development clearly made a commitment to this place. Christ Church Cathedral, where the whole idea for Jericho Road first came from, made a commitment to this place because it is their neighborhood. We're not leaving. And that's, in general, the way New Orleanians think. New Orleanians think about and live where they live. You don't see people moving from neighborhood to neighborhood, really. People live in their neighborhood. People who are from Central City don't want to leave Central City. And so part of a challenge for us has been helping residents of Central City understand that they can actually be homeowners. They've lived all their lives. Perhaps they grew up with their parents being renters. They were renters. And all of a sudden, at 60 years old, they say, "Are you kidding me? I can't own a house." Well, actually, you can. And you can pay less for your mortgage than you can pay for your rent. And then you have an asset. You're building wealth through homeownership. And you are moving yourself up to a different economic level that hopefully then you have something that you're going to be able to leave to your children. We were so lucky to have that initial grant from Episcopal Relief and Development. It enabled us to put our feet on the ground and do some learning and do some building and also just have impact on so many lives, not just the people that we are reaching out to help, but also the people that are coming to work with us, like the fellows.
You know, Episcopal Relief and Development certainly was our bedrock, Trinity Wall Street, but then Grinnell College, you know, the fellows that we've received from them. I mean, these are highly educated young college graduates that come here, some of whom have never been to New Orleans, many of whom have actually, after their year here, decided they want to live here. So just things like that have been so exciting and fun for me to watch as people come and go.
Our model for working is that of collaboration and not competitiveness. And because that has been the way we've approached our work from the very beginning, it's allowed us to be working in great partnership with other nonprofits and with the City of New Orleans and really be in the forefront of what's been going on in the city in terms of revitalization since Hurricane Katrina.
We have really made the impact on this community. We've seen the impact in the almost 10 years that we're working now. This area that, you know, that's shot behind me was one of the worst areas in the city. Now it is one of the most sought after communities in the city. When we look at what's happening to property values in this neighborhood, we look at all of the investment that's happened. It's been a very rapid revitalization in terms of community development, which is usually much slower. It's a New Orleans reimagined, a Central City reimagined. And I get excited every day when I think about all of the different things that are happening, all of the opportunities that are being presented to the families who live in this neighborhood, who lived in this neighborhood prior to the hurricane. I suffered for disinvestment for 40 years. You know, the investment in the past 10 years and hopefully in the next 10 years will make that continuous disinvestment for 40 years pale in comparison. And that's what I hope happens. And I hope Jericho Road continues to be a part of that, a positive part of it.